In the midst of what's happening in Israel, us moving our embassy to Jerusalem and the violence at the border, there are some voices that are saying, well, I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. God is what wants us. Of course, some of them are on Fox News. So let's go to so-called Judge Jeanine Pirro.
Donald Trump recognized history. He, like King Cyrus before him, fulfilled the biblical prophecy of the gods worshipped by Jews, Christians, and yes, Muslims, that Jerusalem is the eternal capital of the Jewish state and that the Jewish people finally deserve a righteous, free, and sovereign Israel.
Biblical prophecy. Why bring that in? People are making fun of her, saying, I can't believe she believes that nonsense. I got news for you. 25% of this country believes that absolute nonsense. And I'm going to outline what that nonsense is for you in a second. And they voted for Donald Trump in overwhelming numbers, and now he controls the greatest military ever built. So, but first, Senator Lindsey Graham gets in on the God Fund.
The least we can do is recognize their capital. If you got a problem with Jerusalem being the capital of Israel, take it up with God.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to turn around to Senator Heller.
Yeah, take it up with God. Okay. So what is this theory that, about the end times that these evangelical Christians and other supporters believe? So nobody ever talks about it in the media because it's uncomfortable. They never get to the end of the movie. That's what we're going to do here. So there's 11 steps, so let me show them to you. Of course, I don't believe this is what they believe, and you'll get to see why they're so excited. So number one, the final 7 years, this is at the end times, and we're going to get to Armageddon. Jesus is going to return. Number one, the final 7 years will begin when the Antichrist and the international community give their support to Israel's right to exist in the land promised to Abraham by God. Well, that's already kind of happened, so I guess check. But remember, the people who recognize Israel are the Antichrist. That's also very uncomfortable. No one ever talks about that part. Number two, a war will begin from the vicinity of the Euphrates River. Where is the Euphrates River? Right by Iraq and Syria. Ooh, they're so excited. They're so close to Armageddon. Number three, the West Bank, that's Judea, in Israel, will become a place of great tribulation. Check. Number four, the Temple Mount in Jerusalem will be placed under a sharing arrangement between Jew and Gentile. Well, we're pretty close to that, and I look forward to some sort of peace deal. Maybe that could happen. So, hey, evangelical Christians looking forward to everybody dying. Let's get a peace deal done. Jesus will come back. All right, anyway, number five, the Jewish temple will be built on the Temple Mount. Now, that one's particularly problematic because if you're going to do that, you're going to have to take down the biggest mosque that is one of the most holy sites for Islam that now stands on the Temple Mount. And what is that going to lead to? A war. Well, they think, great, that's what we wanted anyway. That was part of number two. And we want the end times. We want Armageddon. So to them, the war is not the bug, it's the feature. We have a huge percentage of this country driving towards their desired goal of a war that kills almost everyone on the planet. Okay, so that's why they're like, yes, antagonize the Muslims more. And give the West Bank to the Jews, give everything that they want in their mind to the Jews as they perceive them through the Bible. And so that when we rebuild the Temple Mount, that'll be number five, and we're so close to Jesus coming back. Okay, number six, the Temple Mount will be placed under the supervision of the world community, and leader of the world community, which will at that time be the Antichrist, will stand on the Temple Mount claiming to be God. Well, that seems fairly unlikely, they're claiming to be God, but that's their interpretation of it. So that apparently is going to happen a little bit later in this movie. Number seven, a world government will dominate the world for 3.5 years prior to Armageddon. Okay, that's part of, you see, now, nobody in the media tells you this. You look at that and you go, oh, that's why they hate the UN. Why would it be a bad thing for the whole world to get together and at least give it a shot to work together and to fight for peace and eradicate disease and poverty, etc.? Because a bunch of lunatic pastors in America convinced them that the world working together is a terrible thing, and maybe they got it from the Bible, the Tower of Babel. They work together, build a nice tower, and everybody's happy, and God comes by and gets jealous. He goes, how dare you? Destroys their tower, sets them all across the world in languages they can't speak to one another and communicate, because apparently God hates humanity. This is the God they worship. This is the God they look forward to, the one that's going to kill us, almost all of us. Number eight, each person on earth will be required to have a mark or a number in order to buy or sell. Not quite sure what that means, but hey, with the codes around these days, that could happen, I suppose. Number 9, the world community led by Russia and Iran will invade the nation of Israel. Again, for them, that's not a bad scenario. That's a great scenario where Russia and Iran try to destroy Israel. Now, Israel doesn't want that to happen. No sane person wants that to happen. But for evangelical Christians in America, they're like, oh, if Israel could be set up, empowered, they fight against the Muslims, they crush the Muslims, but then they themselves are invaded by Russia and Iran. Ooh, God willing. Finish the rest of the prophecy. Jeanine Pirro doesn't tell you that. Those US senators don't tell you that because the rest of the prophecy is monstrous. Number 10. The return of the Christ, finally. This is the part of the trilogy that I've been looking forward to. After the Battle of Armageddon, where again, almost everyone on the planet dies, Christ will set his feet on the Mount of Olives. Well, isn't that great? The only problem is none of us will see it because we'll all be dead. Except for the guys who got vacuumed up into the sky because they really believed. Number 11, finally, Christ will defeat all of his enemies, capture alive the Antichrist and the false prophet, and cast them into the lake of fire where they will be tormented. I thought Jesus was supposed to be the Prince of Peace. Understand that in their sick scenarios, almost everyone on the planet dies. They look forward to Armageddon, and Jesus kills almost everybody. Except, of course, evangelical Christians, because Jesus can't get enough of Missouri. This is the madness that elected officials believe, a lot of people in our media believe, and drive the United States government. These are the most dangerous people on earth. 2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.